Well, what you're looking at right now is a sheep, a ewe who's removed herself from my flock, and it's pretty disappointing. But she's a homegrown one too, which is I think the first time I've had trouble with this. Meaning, she was getting out chronically over the course of the last week, and jumping the fence and sneaking underneath it and taking a shock essentially. And so normally what I'd do is I'd simply add to the lamb in my freezer, but she's a month and a half away from giving birth, and I just can't quite do that. So we put her up for sale locally, and kind of the reason I put it up for sale locally instead of coming out and doing it here, sorry, the world's loudest truck is rolling by, is because she's not a one-wire sheep. She's nothing I'd want to sell and advertise that way. And you can see she's pretty unhappy with being by herself, but it's only for a couple of days, and I don't have anything to put with her, so I'm not going to drag some other good sheep out of the main flock where they feel happy because she can't behave herself. But yeah, she's up for sale because and it's part of being the predator in your own flock or your own herd is the animals that demonstrate through their epigenetics or their demeanor or the behavior that show you they don't want to be in your flock. You have to put emotion aside or desire, like, I want to grow my flock so bad, and this is going to take her and her offspring out of my flock. But you have to be ruthless in culling. I mean, that's just the flat out fact about it. And she's a nice looking sheep. Got a great hair coat, clean tail. The skin around her eyes is pink, meaning she's not suffering from parasite load. Really great sheep, but, you can see she sees the flock over there. But she's got to go, and that's the unfortunate reality is you can't keep them all. You got to keep the ones that want to play the game. Can you believe? Here, that calf is still trying to get a drink. I don't think there's much in there. I got a dog pushing on the hay bale I'm leaning against right now. That calf is still trying to get a drink off her mom. Sorry, I'm coughing. It is very cold and the air is dry out, and I'm just inhaling a little too much cold air. But I can't believe that cow is still giving up milk. It can't be much. Her bag is pretty small. I would be a little concerned about this if I thought I know she's not carrying a calf. She slipped her AI. So I'm all right with transferring the fat to the calf. That seems okay to me. Well, she's going in the danger zone. Nursing from behind is always a risky maneuver there. I cannot believe the size of that calf still trying to get something off her mom. Ah, come on, Bale, do your thing. Almost, guys, almost. This is that Katahdin ram that we're keeping. He's a nice looking boy. All right, we can do this. Well, sort of. All right, good enough. A couple of things just for today. One is I took about a week-long break from filming, and for no other reason than I've been feeling a sort of malaise, or I don't know, it's not laziness, just as this winter has dragged on seemingly indefinitely, I just hit a spot, and it kind of happened at the same time as daylight savings, where I just wasn't up for extras between work and just normal chores. I was kind of just being a lazy bones, and you know, I kind of hit me over the head like a hammer. Hey guys, it hit me over the head like a hammer last night when I was just being irritable for no reason. And so I did something about it. I went to bed super early and got some extra sleep, and wow, it turns out it's good to get enough sleep. No, I don't know. Like this winter, I mean, I know it's Minnesota, but it's, middle of March. I would expect some snow on the ground, but we're still at 2 foot in places, 3 foot in places. And so that's really what was kind of slowing me down. It's just kind of all in my head, I guess I would say, so I kind of snapped myself out of it and told myself to get after it, and I got a few things done yesterday that helped me, and then I have some things planned for this afternoon after work, and I'm not going to take this kind of death by 1,000 cuts feeling and let it sit. I'm going to push through it. So that's where we are. This is the last day on this paddock. I know it looks like it looks good up here, and you say, well, where's all the hay down there? It snowed again. There's hay down there. Right down in here, I fed. It just snowed again, so that's what we have. And then I'm setting up a paddock right this way to go long ways to that tree line. I have power to hook into over there, so that we can get the animals back into the mode of rotation. Right now I'm doing like 1 week rotation so I can feed hay, and then I'll feed hay and kind of cover the ground as best I can, and then move along. And then once we start grass growing, or actually really when we start having mud issues, I'm going to go back to daily moves, because I don't want to pug my ground out. I have one more bale to feed in here, and then moving back to square bales for the remainder of the winter. So way up there I still have a bunch of rounds, but right here is my tractor up past its axles. I had my head in the clouds when I was driving that. I was going to start driving bales out here. I got one more out here, and then had my head in the clouds heading back with no weight on the back, and I slipped off the path into about 4 foot of snow with some soft ground underneath, and got very, very, very stuck. Couldn't even get out with a come along. So that is my mistake, and I'm going to learn from it. But luckily Doug has squares and rounds, so I'll buy squares because I can drive them out on the four-wheeler. It's kind of a sharp lesson learned in terms of money, because squares are more expensive. But I will not forget it again. And here's the thing. I thought I had a good plan for the winter. I had 80% of a good plan, and I just didn't fill in the edges of detail about where I was placing bales, what my movement was going to be across the tail end of the winter, and all of the little details for the end of the winter just didn't get on my plan. And so now I'm realizing that I'm scrambling a bit. That's okay. Now I know for next year I need to be detailed and thorough and complete, so that I don't run into these places where I kind of paint myself into a corner. So anyhow, other than that, the animals are thriving. Outside of that ewe that's in the corral, she's very unhappy. I can hear her baaing from here, but we're going to get her out of here onto a different home that doesn't rely on one hot wire for containment. And anyhow, that'll be about it for this one.